Continuamos con nuestro programa del encuentro virtual Expo Transporte AMPAC y le damos la bienvenida al licenciado Bernardo Valenzuela, presidente de Operaciones Globales de Navistar, con la conferencia Tecnologías del Futuro en el Presente. Adelante, Navistar.
Muy buenos días, mi nombre es Bernardo Valenzuela, soy el presidente de Operaciones Globales y director general de Navistar en México. Es un día importante para nosotros y estamos muy contentos de poder participar en este encuentro virtual AMPACT, que es la antesala para el evento que tendremos en marzo del año que entra en nuestra Expo Transporte 2022. El día de hoy platicaremos de las tecnologías del futuro en el presente. Nos vamos a enfocar en tres grandes temas. Quisimos traer una actualización para todos ustedes de nuestra estrategia de electrificación. ¿Qué es lo que va a pasar con los vehículos eléctricos? Y nuestro experto platicará de ello. También vamos a hablar de la tecnología autónoma y por último haremos un sumario de nuestra propuesta de valor en nuestra oferta actual, que es muy importante y se concentra en documentar que con nuestros productos y servicios los transportistas pueden ser más rentables, más eficientes y más seguros en México. Esta es información que nosotros tenemos comprobada. Por último, como ustedes lo habrán escuchado, Navistar forma desde el 1 de julio parte del grupo Tratón, uno de los grupos más importantes en el mundo en el desarrollo de vehículos comerciales. El día de hoy, a mí me da mucho gusto aprovechar este evento para presentarles al señor Matías Karlbaum, muy recientemente nombrado presidente y CEO de Navistar. Él está basado en la ciudad de Chicago, en Illinois, y quiere presentarse con todos ustedes. Matías.
Hola a todos en México. Mi nombre es Matías Karlbaum y soy el CEO de Navistar. Llevo apenas 3 semanas en el puesto, pero sí que me encanta poder dirigirme a ustedes en este medio. Lamentablemente, la feria de Expo no acontece ahora, pero en marzo sí acontecerá y ahí estaré. Quería empezar con agradeceros de ser parceros nuestros en México. Nosotros ahora somos parte de un grupo importante, el grupo Tratton. ¿Por qué digo esto? Porque ahora Navistar no solo estará trabajando como siempre, muy cercano de ustedes, en el día a día, pero también tenemos otras posibilidades de traer e invertir más en tecnologías futuras. Hoy, después de mi charla, algunas personas aquí de Estados Unidos van a hablar sobre lo que pensamos en vehículos eléctricos y en vehículos autónomos. También Bernardo dirá sus palabras bien dirigidas a ustedes y terminaremos con la parte en que hablamos del tema tan importante como consumo de combustible. Lo que sí quería decir en este momento es que un gran, agradecimiento y valor a lo que se hace en el mercado mexicano para International. El esfuerzo y la dedicación vuestra y estar siempre cerca de los clientes es algo que el pasado, presente y futuro siempre determinará el éxito de nuestra parcería y relación con nuestros parceros clientes. El futuro va a ser diferente a hoy. Sí, va a ser diferente en lo que son tecnologías, modelos de negocios y todo esto, en cual aseguro que estamos poniendo muchos esfuerzos para estar en liderazgo en el futuro en estas áreas. Pero siempre todo se trata de las largas relaciones, la parcería, estar juntos a todos en momentos difíciles y en momentos buenos. Me encantará escuchar la opinión que vosotros tenéis sobre nosotros. ¿Cómo pensáis? ¿Cómo el mercado mexicano es hoy? ¿Cómo veis el futuro? ¿Quién necesitáis a más de nosotros para brindar servicios vosotros a vuestros clientes? ¿Y cómo podemos estrechar las relaciones de parcería que tenemos? Nuevamente, las restricciones que tenemos de viajar no me permiten ir ahora mismo a México, pero ojalá eso se levante en las semanas, meses que vienen, para que yo pueda estar ahí antes de Navidades. Y os aseguro que el mercado mexicano, experiencia es muy positiva de las experiencias anteriores que tengo, y siempre os tendré ahí en mente en todo lo que hacemos aquí en la sede, aquí en Lyle, en Chicago. Por lo tanto, por ahora paso la palabra a Bernardo, que os introduzca los temas que están para venir y lo que son ahora los próximos pasos de Navistar en México. Muchas gracias y hasta pronto.
Muchas gracias, Matías. A continuación los dejo con el señor Jason Gies, que es el vicepresidente de e-mobility para Navistar. Él es el responsable del desarrollo de toda la plataforma de electrificación de vehículos eléctricos para Navistar, y posteriormente recibiremos del señor Shiri Gouda, que es el vicepresidente de tecnología autónoma de Navistar. Los dejo con ellos. Muchas gracias.
Hi, my name is Jason Gies. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Navistar's e-mobility team. I am responsible for the customer's end-to-end solutions for anything zero emissions. This includes international truck, IC bus, and Next's e-mobility solutions team. Here at Navistar, we are excited for the future of electrification. We see that it is growing more rapidly than we could have ever expected. We are putting both school buses and trucks into customers' hands as we speak. In fact, we have 18 buses delivered to Canada, and we are now delivering production buses throughout California. On the truck side of the house, we recently announced our EMV is available for order right now. That vehicle is going to customers later this fall, and we will be growing orders throughout next year. So why electrification and why now? What we've noticed as Navistar and what we've seen with the industry is it is not just the vehicle. It is our 5 C's approach that is helping. We've spent over 24 months with certain customers helping them prepare for electrification. And again, our 5 C's are the key to success. Our first C is consulting. So how do we consult with customers? Our first area of consultation is route consulting. So anything from basic total cost of ownership analysis through in-depth route consulting of how does the vehicle operate through the hottest day and through the coldest day, and how does the driver's behavior fit into that equation. The other way we can look at TCO and route analysis is total enterprise analysis. So what does that mean? We can look at anything from a small subset of a fleet to the customer's entire fleet to make sure that what percentage fits into an electrification scenario, or what percentage is still a traditional fuel. We at Navistar aren't going away from our traditional fueled routes. We will still continue to make diesel for a very long time. We see that the future is coming and electrification and zero emissions will be there, so we're preparing for it. So whatever percentage of that fleet fits as an electrified portion, we can help our customers understand what that looks like. The second area of consulting is grants and funding. We have an entire grant team that's working with me on helping our customers find funding and helping offset the cost of the vehicles going into the fleet. Our next C is our charging C. Where we're helping customers with charging is anywhere from a remote site survey, which is virtual and can give our customers the basics for what it's going to take to charge. Our next step in charging is a on-site survey, which will give the customers complete engineer drawings and a 1 year, 2 year, and 5 year plan for what that site will look like as they bring electrification on. Following step to that is if a customer decides to move forward with our solutions is we can install the complete charging solution. Charging solutions aren't one size fits all. We're making sure we right size the charger with the duty cycle and the vehicle to meet our customers' needs. Our next C is constructing. We at Navistar are building our vehicles in our plants. The school buses are running down the line at Tulsa. The trucks are running in Escobedo as we speak, and then we'll eventually run in our new plant in San Antonio. We are growing our operations footprint to meet the future demands of electrification. Our other area of constructing is our parts and service distribution network. We are continuing to grow those areas and right size those areas for electrification. We are teaching our dealers and our service networks everything there is to know about electrification as we speak, both from safety and the service perspective. Our next C is our connecting C. Every vehicle we sell at Navistar will have connectivity on it for electrified solutions. This allows us to monitor things like charging, charge time, if a vehicle is charging, how the drivers are behaving, how the vehicles are actually performing on their respective routes. The other area we're tying connectivity is into charging solutions. So we can do things like starting charging on off-peak times. We can do things like monitor how the charging equipment is behaving. So we can help if there is an issue with either the vehicle or the charging solutions to make sure that we can fix them if there's a problem in the field. Our last area is conserving. This one we find is extremely important, and we've added this fairly recently. So on the conservation side, what we are doing, and this is to meet what customers have asked, is what happens to the battery? And it's not always an easy solution. So if a battery goes bad during the life cycle of the vehicle, we'll pull that battery off and replace it with a battery that is as good or better than the one that came off the vehicle. The battery that did come off the vehicle, we will bring it in, we will analyze it, and it will go through a process of either remanufacturing, which majority batteries will do, and be put on the shelf for another day on a vehicle. If that battery for some reason is deemed unacceptable for second life applications on a vehicle, it is put into a secondary stationary power application, which we're already looking at some programs around that. And worst case scenario, which is a very low percentage, especially this soon into the life cycle of what we're doing on electrification, if there's an issue with that battery for whatever reason, we'll recycle it. Again, that is a very low percentage, and it's fairly unlikely that we'll have to go down that path in this early in the game. We're looking at 10, 15, even 20 years out before we even have to cross that bridge. So again, we are excited. Our 5 C's are our cornerstones of success. Really, we're in an educational period right now as an industry. Navistar is excited to be leading that way and helping our customers understand all of these different aspects as they're bringing electric vehicles in. We're proud of the bus launch. That is a huge win for us as a company. Our truck is right behind it, which is utilizing similar technologies and drive systems. Our customers' feedback has been nothing but positive. So again, we look forward to this. We look forward to growing with you, the customer. We look forward to growing with our dealers, and are excited to enter into different markets in the coming years. So we get the question all the time, why have we chosen school buses and medium duty as our initial path? Well, school buses are really a no-brainer. Most school buses drive under 100 miles on each shift and have plenty of charging time. On the medium duty, we were looking back at a lot of our OCC data on our vehicles over the past few years, and we've noticed that a large percentage of those are under 200 miles each day also. So again, if the application is not acceptable, we still make diesel products that are some of the best in class. Again, work with our customers for mixed fleets. Another question we get is, why the MV in Mexico? And the EMV in Mexico, we're looking at putting it into select fleets in the coming years and starting to try it. We want to work with select customers, making sure that they have successes in electrification and finding areas we can grow together for the future.
Hi, I'm Srini Gowda. I'm the Vice President for Autonomous Driving in Navistar. I've been with Navistar for about 6 months now. I'm based out of California, in the West Coast. Prior to joining Navistar, I was with a number of autonomous driving companies, Nuro, Argo, Byton, and Karma. So I have a blend of the startup world and also the established OEM world. The reason for joining Navistar was to realize my dream in autonomous driving. The trucking segment will probably realize that first because of the lesser complexities and the lesser dynamic environment that a truck has to deal with when compared with passenger cars. So as part of that, what attracted me again was, in July of 2020, last year, Navistar and TuSimple inked a partnership where Navistar would come up and build trucks, and TuSimple would basically supply the software, the brains behind the autonomous driving system. This for me was a game changer because of the timeline. So Navistar and TuSimple are looking to launch autonomous driving trucks in June 2024, and this pretty much puts Navistar in pole position. And what's more interesting is, what I'd like to highlight as well, is the concept of the AFN, or the Autonomous Freight Network. And this freight network basically combining with TuSimple's connectivity strategies and Navistar's on-command and connect solutions gives our customer base a full ecosystem. And what I mean by an ecosystem is it gives our customer base data, it gives our customer base data entry points, data exit points. What do our customers really want? And also how do we drive the fleet forward with the data that's coming off? And top priority for Navistar and TuSimple is safety. The AFN makes the autonomous driving network that much safer and more simpler to handle for the AI behind the wheels. So the goal of the partnership between TuSimple and Navistar actually is to develop heavy-duty trucks, get it in the market by June 2024, and also have a cost-effective solution for the marketplace. We all know that driver shortage is not a new issue. It's been in the industry, but driver shortage is being exacerbated by almost 60 to 85% by 2025, 2026 timeframe. This makes the autonomous driving truck an ideal solution for a customer base, whether it's being fleet or whether it's some of the bigger customers that Navistar has. And that's where autonomous trucks come in my opinion. Apart from that, we also have cost savings, cost benefits from a miles per gallon ratio, but also just overall truck usage. Traditionally, trucks are used for 8 hours at a stretch with the human driver behind the wheel. But with an autonomous truck, that time limit goes away. It just means more uptime and more return on investment for the customer base, and also for Navistar and TuSimple. Navistar and TuSimple, well, I believe that autonomous trucks will change the way capacity and demand is being looked at, the supply and demand relationship. And I also strongly believe that the demand for autonomous trucks will peak once the solution is proven out. And by being one of the first to the field in terms of looking at when we can actually achieve to pull the driver out in a safe manner from the truck, which is targeted for June 2024, we will be at pole position, and the demand for this technology with trucks that can actually enable this will skyrocket. It also improves the lives of drivers, because then drivers don't have to spend nights away from home. They can look at driving trucks from the last mile delivery solutions and go back to their families. The hub-to-hub solution that's being engineered between Navistar and TuSimple, that's where the key benefit is in terms of improving driver satisfaction and reducing the risk that we see on the roads. Just to put the risk into context, from 2010 till now, we've had around 3,700 fatal accidents due to Class 8 trucks. And one of the key objectives for Navistar is to look at how we can reduce this, how we can actually reduce these fatal accidents on the road. And autonomous trucks is definitely the solution to that, because we're delivering a solution that is going to be that much safer than a human driver. And the target is, as you would expect, 0 accidents in the field due to the autonomous driver. Having said that, there are a lot of challenges in terms of where we are right now and where we want to be, but that's the name of the game. And both Navistar and TuSimple are working together to achieve the target date of June 2024. There are certain roadblocks that we need to overcome together, but that's with any other project that we see at the moment, and we're confident that we will resolve those roadblocks, and we should be the first markets or the first to market with the autonomous trucking space. In terms of geographical solutions and the target area, Navistar and TuSimple are targeting the US market first, and this solution will then quickly roll out to other countries, Mexico, and also working with our partners in Traton, in Scania, and MAN. We're looking at Europe and China as well for autonomous trucking solutions. So legislation is one of the key challenges right now in the autonomous driving space. It's not just with Navistar and TuSimple, but the other AD companies as well. So legislation is developing as we speak, and we expect a first draft for autonomous specific regulations to be published around 2024-2025 timeframe. And as you said, it varies from state to state, because each state has a different approach to trucking, whether it be the dealer segment, whether it just be the way they manage the highways. And this we're working with the legislative bodies, both TuSimple and Navistar as a team. And we have regular meetings set up with these legislative bodies where we understand what's coming up next from a legislative point of view, and how does Navistar and TuSimple engineer a solution that meets this legislative solution coming up. The other aspect is influencing these legislation in a positive manner, because when you're pulling the driver out of the truck, a lot of the regulations, legislation don't apply anymore. So how do you go in and get an exempt for these? And this is where a lot of teamwork is being done, and the response from the various states has been overwhelmingly positive. We're confident that we can achieve this in the time frame. So there are 2 aspects to vehicle design that's being considered. One is the voice of the customer. So what do our customers actually want in terms of an autonomous driving vehicle? Yes, we do have ideas, we do have some groundbreaking theories, but at the end of the day, what does our customer want, and how do we meet that customer requirement? The second one is safety. So when taking the design of the truck into account, how do we make the autonomous driving truck safe? So redundancies, the chassis, the braking system, the steering systems, and everything else that goes with it. How do we make sure that it's all baked into that voice of the customer remit or purview? So having taken this into account, the actual design of the truck from the outside very much looks similar to what it is today, at least the Gen 1. We do expect changes to Gen 2 and Gen 3s, but for Generation 1s, it is very much similar. And believe it or not, we will be launching a day cab and a sleeper cab version, because that's what our customers want during our Job 1 launch. And we're also looking at, for example, having 2 seats in an autonomous truck. So you have the driver's seat, you have the passenger seat, you also have a refrigerator packed into that as part of the requirements. So you can see that the Generation 1 uptake is probably driving a lot of the truck design elements. And then as you go to Gen 2, as the customer base is more comfortable without a driver in the truck, you will see a lot more significant design changes, being no seats, or being no steering wheels, being no accelerator pedals, so on and so forth. So in terms of the deployment operations and the various powertrains, one key advantage of autonomous technology is once it's proven out on the traditional IC engines, to port the technology onto hybrid fuel cell or whether purely electric or BEV powertrains is fairly easy. But that being said, the challenge of having that on a level 8 truck is going to be the key. Now, if you take the mass, or if you take the engineering requirements into consideration, it's a lot more challenging to have a BEV doing thousands of miles in any given day, whereas it's a lot more easier for an IC engine to do the similar miles because the infrastructure that's been provided. So once the infrastructure matures in terms of the charging locations, pit stop locations, I'm sure that the autonomous driving technology will then transpose itself into various powertrains. There will be some integration work and some validation work that needs to be done due to the change of the powertrain, but in the overall scheme of things, that's a smaller hurdle to surpass. And also looking at our customers' interest right now, a lot of them are pretty much geared towards the IC engine for now, for the up until 2025, 2026 timeframe. Once we are able to prove out the BEV platform or the fuel cell platform, we will slowly transition into that as well. And we can see that we've had close to 6,000 confirmed reservations from a customer's base already that we can deliver to. And we only expect that number to increase as we start adding more powertrain options into that mix. So given 2027, 2028 timeframe, we definitely anticipate a spike in terms of our customer demand for the various powertrains, being it IC engines or BEV or even the fuel cell options.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Mi nombre es Eduardo Moguel, director de Mercadotecnia para Navistar México. A mí me toca hacer el cierre de esta presentación. Espero que haya sido de su interés esta plática de las nuevas tecnologías aplicadas para el presente. Y no me resta más que reiterarles el compromiso de Navistar para sus clientes de hacer más rentables sus negocios, a través de un mejor rendimiento de combustible, a través del mejor desempeño de las unidades y a través de la seguridad aplicada a ellas. Por último, decirles que nos vemos en Puebla en el mes de marzo, en el marco de la Expo Transporte, para que todo esto que platicamos lo puedan ver presencialmente y podamos platicar cara a cara. Muchas gracias y buen día.